Welcome to another video from Immigration Art. My name is Art Seratelli and I am a partner at the law firm of Van Deventer Black. We've got offices in Virginia, North Carolina, and California. And the immigration law practice that I'm in charge of, we have clients nationwide. We are available in all 50 states to assist you as needed. Before we get started, just to be very clear, this is just an overview, a simple, basic overview of the different types of green card categories. Each category could be its own separate video. This is just an overview to give you an idea of what's out there and what's available, so you have an idea of what categories you fit into. And the good news is you can apply for a green card in as many categories as you qualify for. If you qualify for a green card in 2 or 3 categories, file 3 cases, and the one that gets approved first is the winner. Okay, there are only 5 ways to get a green card. 5. The most popular way is through employment. The next most popular way is through family members, either marriage, or if you're a U.S. citizen, you could bring your parents over. That's called the immediate relative category. Or there's a preference category for other family members that are not immediate, like the sister or a brother of a U.S. citizen. So we've got employment, family for immediate relatives, family for preference relatives, that's 3. Four, there's something called the diversity lottery, and then the last category is asylum or refugee status. So we'll take these in reverse order. Asylum and refugee status. These categories are for people who have fled their countries. They fled the country for fear of their life due to political, religious, or other beliefs that subject them to persecution and other ill treatment. If you would like to read more about asylum and refugee status and other humanitarian ways of entering the United States, I will direct you to the USCIS at the URL that'll appear next. Now, what is the diversity visa lottery? The diversity visa lottery is designed, it's a program run by the Department of State, and it's designed to bring people into our country to better reflect in our nation the diversity of the population of all nations of the world. So if you're from a country that is underrepresented in our population, you can apply. So if you're from Poland or Ethiopia or Nigeria, take a look at the list of countries, and if you're from that country that's on that list, you can apply. The details are at the URL that appears next. Now, turning to the family categories, the family preference categories, there are only 5, and if you fit into one of these categories, then you qualify for a green card. The problem is, if you're in America, some of these categories have a very long wait time, and you can find the wait times for your category at the Visa Bulletin, which is also on the Department of State website, which I will direct you to at the URL that'll appear next. So there's only a limited number of categories. If you don't fit into one of these categories, then you're not eligible. So here we go. The first one is unmarried sons and daughters of United States citizens. A son or daughter, that's a term of art. A son or a daughter is someone who is 21 years of age or older. The second and third categories have to do with relatives of green card holders, lawful permanent residents. If you are the spouse or child of a green card holder, you're allowed to seek a green card based on that relationship. The next category involving lawful permanent residents or green card holders is the unmarried son or daughter of a green card holder. The fourth category is the married son or daughter of an American citizen. And in this case, if the son or the daughter is married, then the spouse also gets a green card. They get to tag along. And if the married son or daughter and the spouse have children, those children get to tag along and get a green card too. But remember, once the children hit the age of 21, they are no longer eligible for a green card in this category, and they have to find another way to become permanent residents. And the fifth and the last category for preference-based family cases is the brother or sister of a U.S. citizen. And in this case, if the brother or sister is married, then the spouse also gets a green card. They get to tag along. And if the children, those children get to tag along and get a green card too. But remember, once the children hit the age of 21, they are no longer eligible for a green card in this category. The first category in this immediate relative family category is marriage to a U.S. citizen. The other type of immediate relative is the parent of a United States citizen. The wait times are very short. Currently, for marriage cases, if you marry a U.S. citizen, currently the wait time is approximately 5 months. From the beginning of the case through the time you get the green card in your hand, it could be 5, maybe 6 months. It's important to note that most people, when they're in line for a green card based on a job, are already in the United States. So to wait in line for a green card based on a job, you need temporary status to be here to work while you're waiting for the green card. In other words, getting in line for a green card, and this is important, getting in line for a green card gives you no legal status to be here until you get to something called the I-485 stage. So, if you're in line for a green card and you're also in the United States, you need to be in a lawful status. So most people are in an H-1B work visa category, and simultaneously they're in line for a green card based on a job. Some people are here as L-1A or L-1B workers, and then they're in line simultaneously for a green card. The employment-based green cards are stratified in 3 general groupings. The lower the number of the preference grouping, the longer the wait time. And you can find the wait times for employment-based green cards at the URL that I am going to direct you to next. Okay, so there's 3 basic categories for employment-based green cards. The first preference is for very special, highly skilled people who essentially don't have to wait very long for the green card. Their category is current, usually all the time, and the only wait they have is the wait that it takes for the government to process the actual paperwork. There are three types of EB, employment-based preference one green card classifications. One is someone who's extraordinary. They have extraordinary ability. Another is someone who is a multinational executive or manager. And the third is someone who is an outstanding professor or a researcher. The second category, the employment-based preference 2, EB2 green card category, is reserved for people who are in a job that requires a master's degree or higher, and advertising is required. Before you can take a job permanently out of the American workforce, we need to advertise the job to make sure no American is available or qualified to do it in your geographic area. So we put ads, among other things, we put ads in the local paper. This process of advertising is called the labor certification process, the PERM, P-E-R-M, the PERM labor certification process. There are two other types of green cards in this category. One is an EB2 national interest waiver green card. This is for someone who's working, usually, not always, but usually it's someone in the sciences doing medical research or nanotechnology or environmental science work in alternative sources of energy or sustainable sources of energy. Perhaps the people are engineers working on recycled materials to build stronger and better roads and bridges. If you're working in the national interest, then your work is so important to the United States, your work is in the national interest, that we don't want you to advertise. We don't want any old American to do the job. We want you. So a national interest waiver, what are we waiving? What's the waiver? We're waiving the requirement to advertise so you can get the green card faster. The third type of EB2 green card is for someone with exceptional ability. Again, this is a quick overview. It is quick. Each one of these topics can be an entire video. So just get familiar with the categories and give us a call if you've got questions. The third preference employment-based category, EB3, that is for folks who are in a job that requires a bachelor's degree. This category typically is the longest in terms of waiting time. Because it's not only just people with a job that requires a bachelor's degree that's in this category. It's also, quote, skilled workers and other workers. So it could be anybody from an in-home caregiver to a chef. In other words, people with bachelor's degrees are lumped in with so many other kinds of people. Nurses are in this category. You're lumped in with so many other people that there's just too many people in line for too few green cards. That's why the wait is too long. There was also a fourth preference, employment-based category. And into this category, we've got folks who, for example, are religious workers and other special types of workers. But again, if you have questions, refer to the USCIS website or give us a call.